There are places in the world where stones still whisper, where walls are not just walls, but instruments of memory, where silence itself becomes a form of healing. One such place is hidden along the Nile, the Temple of Dendera. To most travelers, Dendera looks like another ancient ruin. Massive columns, faded carvings, shadows of a civilization that vanished long ago. But if you listen closely, you will feel something else, something alive. Dendera was more than stone, more than a temple. It was a sanctuary of sound and silence, of light and darkness, a place where the sick came to be healed, where priests practiced arts that even modern medicine has yet to understand. This was the Temple of Hathor, goddess of love, joy, fertility, and renewal. But to those who entered its halls, Hathor was more than a goddess. She was the silent healer. Before we enter the temple, we must meet the one it was dedicated to, Hathor. Hathor was often depicted as a woman with cow's ears or horns, carrying the sun between them. To the Egyptians, she was the mother of nourishment, music, and beauty. But beneath her gentle image was something deeper. Hathor was the goddess of resonance, of vibration, of the hidden forces that restore balance between body and spirit. In Egyptian thought, disease was not just physical, it was a disharmony of the soul. Healing was not only about herbs or surgeries, but about realignment with the cosmos, and Hathor embodied that harmony. Inside her temple, priests and healers used rituals of sound, fragrance, and silence to bring seekers back into balance. It was here that the Egyptians practiced something astonishing: temple medicine. The Temple of Dendera was built not only with stone, but with acoustics in mind. Step into its Hypostyle Hall even today, and you'll feel the sound shift. The massive columns, carved ceilings, and enclosed chambers seem to capture and amplify echoes. Some researchers believe this was intentional. Priests would chant hymns, women would play the sistrum, a rattle sacred to Hathor. Drums, harps, and voices would rise, filling the temple with vibrations. But these were not concerts, they were treatments. Sound was medicine. The Egyptians believed that certain tones could realign the body's energy. That vibration could cleanse illness. That music could open portals to divine states of consciousness. Hathor herself was called the Lady of Music, not for entertainment, but for restoration. Even silence was part of this healing. After the resonance of chants, seekers would sit in stillness, allowing their hearts to rebalance. Modern science is now rediscovering this truth. With sound therapy, binaural beats, even ultrasound medicine. But the Egyptians, they knew this thousands of years ago. Sound was not the only tool of healing here. Look closer at Dendera's architecture. The temple is aligned with the rising sun. Light spills through openings at exact moments of the year, solstices, equinoxes. Priests would use these shafts of sunlight in rituals. The healing power of light was considered divine. Certain chambers of the temple are designed to magnify brightness at dawn, filling the room with gold. Others preserve deep shadow for inner reflection. And then there are the crypts. Deep within Dendera lie hidden chambers with carvings that look to modern eyes like giant bulbs or lamps. Some have called it the Dendera Light. Were these symbols of energy or depictions of light as a sacred medicine? We cannot know for certain. But what we do know is that the Egyptians believed light itself was a healer of the soul. To walk from darkness into illumination was a metaphor for renewal, and in Hathor's temple, seekers experienced this physically. and spiritually. Perhaps the most profound healer at Dendera was not sound or light. It was silence. To the Egyptians, silence was not emptiness. It was fullness, the womb of creation, the place where chaos ended and order began. In silence, the priests believed the body remembered its harmony. Initiates would spend hours, sometimes days, in chambers of stillness, away from noise, away from distraction. Here, silence itself became medicine. It calmed the nervous system. It opened the spirit. It connected the seeker with Ma'at, the principle of cosmic balance. Even today, modern psychology speaks of the healing power of silence, of stillness, of mindfulness. But in Dendera, silence was not a practice. It was a sacrament. The Temple of Dendera was also part of Egypt's mystery school tradition. Not everyone could access its deepest secrets. Only initiates, priests, priestesses, and chosen students were trained in the arts of sacred medicine. They learned that healing was not separate from the cosmos, that illness was an imbalance with the divine order, that to heal the body, you must also heal the soul. Some texts suggest that herbs, oils, and even surgical procedures were practiced here, but always alongside ritual, chanting, incense, sacred geometry. Healing was holistic: mind, body, spirit, cosmos. And at the heart of it all stood Hathor, the silent healer. Today, the Temple of Dendera still stands. Its carvings are worn, its rituals are forgotten, but the silence remains. Visitors often describe a strange calm there, a feeling that the walls are alive, that some presence is watching, waiting, listening. Perhaps that is Hathor. Perhaps it is the memory of those thousands who came seeking healing. In a world obsessed with noise, Dendera whispers a forgotten truth, that sometimes healing is not found in more stimulation, more treatment, more distraction. It is found in silence, in sound, in light, in balance. The ancient Egyptians believed that the body and the cosmos were one, and if we learn to listen again, perhaps the silent healer still speaks. So the next time you sit in silence, close your eyes, breathe. Feel the vibrations of your own heartbeat. You may not be inside the Temple of Dendera, but you are inside the temple of your own being, and perhaps Hathor still heals there.